Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock. It's time for another video, and I'm back with another episode of the Jess umentary. I've been traveling all over the world, but I found myself a day where I can sit down and chat to Jess and find out exactly what's going on. If you don't know what the Jess umentary is, go back and look at the episodes that we've done up until this point. Jess is an incredible magician who is taking the journey from being a awesome sort of social performer and hobbyist to becoming a professional magician. And she's taking it step by step. And you're seeing the journey that she's going on. If you want to do the same thing, all you got to do is copy what Jess is doing. She is the blueprint right now. And we're going to find out exactly what's been going on and what we need to be working on next as we check in with the awesome Jess Howard. How you doing, Jess?
Fantastic.
Good. Things good. Is summer treating you well?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's okay, yeah.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Right. Well, we're going to get straight into it. We're gonna a lot to talk about, and there's going to be lots of things that we're going to hit on. The first thing that I want to talk about is the website live? I would normally check on this stuff, but as you know, I've been traveling all over the world, and so I've not really been able to keep on top of stuff like I normally am. So I might ask you questions that I should know, but I don't. I'm sorry. Is the
Cool.
website live?
Yeah.
Amazing. What is the domain name? Jess Howard.
Um, yeah, .co.uk.
I'm just going to go and have a look at it right now very quickly. Is it Jess? Yeah, Jess Howard, magician.
Magician, yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's exactly what we talked about. This looks so professional. Oh, this is awesome. This is just great. I love the testimonial page that you hang on. Yeah, actually, we'll very quickly share the screen because else it's just going to be a video of me going, "Oh, that's good. That's
Ooh.
so." If I share the screen, maybe people can have a frame of reference of what I'm talking about. I don't want to spend too much time on the website, but it might be worth talking about it. I love the color scheme. I love the logo. I love that hero image right there. The font that you've used, the tagline, that's all really good. Um, I like this. Creating magical moments for all. Learn now. Book now. That's great. Close up walk around. Close up table. Stage show. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All with find out now button. Find more out more now. Are these the up to date videos? Are these the latest ones?
Um, they're not the latest ones, they're just the best ones, I thought.
Okay, cool.
Because I,
It
I couldn't
might
find a way to make them the up-to-date ones on Wix.
it might be worthwhile, and you don't have to do this, but this is just something that's cool. It might be worthwhile. You see how all of these sections have got like book now, find out now on now, no, 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 no. It might be worthwhile saying something along the top, like you've got services here. You've got services here, and I think testimonials here. It might be worth having here like watch Jess in action or social media or something like
Mm.
that. Having these three, but then having a button here that says have a button here that says watch more videos or something.
Okay.
That takes you through to a video page. Well, it could either take you to the Instagram page, or it could take you to a video page. And on the video page, you've got all of your videos off Instagram. And as you post a new one onto Instagram, you also post it into the video section, which does a couple of things. It shows that you're constantly posting regularly. But the other thing it does is it's keeping the website updated as well. So Google's looking at it and going, wow, she's updating her website all the time. She's obviously serious about this website. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially as your videos look really good, I would consider doing that. I absolutely would. I think that'd be a useful thing to do.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd have their videos or social media or watch Jess in action or something, and then a watch more videos tab here. Um, I tend to find, unless these people don't want to know, don't want people to know what their surname is, I would suggest having them go to well, I'd suggest two things actually when it comes to testimonials. The first is if you're going to have testimonials like that,
Yeah.
I would have their full name.
Okay.
because only if they're okay with it. Because the thing
Yeah.
is, the general these days, when people are searching for social proof to decide you're the right person for the job, if they see an Alfie L, that could be anybody. Now, I'm guessing that's Alfie from the YMC, and
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's Ella from Ireland, who was on
Yeah. Penn and Teller.
Foolish. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they're okay with having their surnames on there, I'd put the surname on there as well.
Okay.
I wouldn't. It just looks a little bit more official, if that kind of makes sense. The other thing
Yeah.
is, let me just go to my website and just show you something where I have. Um, I know that we're just in the middle of changing this around, so this might not have what I'm looking for. It might not have what I'm looking for at all. I don't know. Okay, yeah, here we've got it under more reviews and testimonials. We're in the middle of moving that around. We're moving, it doesn't matter what we're doing, but we're moving things around on here at the moment. Right, reviews and testimonials. Notice that on my reviews and testimonials, I have links to Facebook, Google, Trustpilot, Add to Events, any platforms that I've got reviews on. I put links directly through to that website.
Okay.
Um, and the reason is, and I think you'll find with most of the people let's look at Thomas Maloney's website because he's doing everything right at the moment as well. Let's have a look at Tom. Here we go. He has, see the check availability buttons that I keep telling you about. Let's have a look here. So there you go. You can see, look, there's a link through to his Google reviews,
Oh yeah.
but also, where's his page? Is it over here and it's blocked? Yes, here we go. If we click on reviews, you're going to see, look, he's done the same thing. He's got links through to Google, Trustpilot, Facebook, and you can do this on Wix as well. He's got reviews that are coming in from those various platforms, which is a nice thing to do as well. That's kind of showing up there. So
Yeah.
you can see, and these are actually being pulled from these real platforms. So you can see that he's getting lots and lots of real reviews. And then underneath, he's got a load of like testimonials like you have. Um, but if we click on Trustpilot, for example, that will actually open up, what it should do. There you go. Sorry. If we click on Trustpilot, it's going to open up Trustpilot, and we're going to see, oh, he's got 34 reviews on here. Oh, that's really good. 34 reviews. And you can see 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, 5 star. And this is a more reputable company when it comes to reviews because it's an external reviewer. On your website, you have to have, um, you put there's nobody like in charge of the website other than you, and people know that. So you could put on there anything you wanted to. You could put there, the King of England said, "I'm the best magician in the world," and it's difficult to prove otherwise, or you know what I mean. But this is a
Yeah.
real review website, and it's very difficult to fake that. And it's the same with Google. If we click on Google, you can see here it comes up with 17 Google reviews. So it's the same sort of thing. It shows that he's a real person and he's got real reviews. So have you set up a Google My Business page yet? I did tell you to do that.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah. I've done it.
Yeah. Have you done that?
Yeah.
Oh, and is it active? Did you get the postcard from Google and everything?
I
Great. And
it just I
did I
didn't
tell you
need
when it
it.
was? Oh, didn't you? Oh, maybe it's changed
No,
in
it's
the last
just
few years.
yeah.
Oh, it just got you
What?
straight in there, did it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Um, so did you pick up the Google review card that I told you about? Did I tell you about a
I've
Google review card?
yeah. You've told me about it. I found one to get, but I've not ordered it yet.
Okay, no problem. The only reason I'm saying is because that's a very easy way when you're out with friends and family and everything to build up those reviews on Google. You can get them for
Yeah.
Trustpilot as well. But going back to your website and the point that I was making with that, there we go, is that on this testimonial section here, I would have these three, but then I'd have, rather than book now, I'd click on here, check out more testimonials or check out more reviews or something like that, and that'll go
Okay.
through to a separate page And that separate which you've kind of got. You've already got a separate page here, which is great. But I'd add in there the links to Google, Trustpilot, Facebook, that sort of place.
Yeah.
Um, that, and then that can have a book now tab, which I'm guessing is going to go straight to contact us. Yes,
Yeah.
brilliant. Excellent, excellent, excellent. While I'm here, I'll look at this. Um, Perfect, 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 perfect. One question, and this isn't that important, so I'm going to tell you something now, which it's not that important, but it's worth doing. But don't spend money on it if it costs money. You see your email address here is jesshowardmagician@outlook.com.
Yeah.
You become less serious looking if you've got a free email address like jesshowardmagician@outlook.com or jesshowardmagician@gmail.com. Because you've got your own website, jesshowardmagician.co.uk,
Yeah.
most domain platforms will allow you to have an email address set up to that. So like
Okay.
jesshowardmagician.co.uk or a hello at jesshowardmagician or inquiries at jesshowardmagician or something like that. Um,
Yeah.
Anything like that. Now, that's only really important for corporates because corporates, when they're planning like a big corporate event, they're looking for things, they're looking for the perfect person. They want somebody that's like super mega professional, if that kind of makes sense. So
Yeah.
they look for things like that. And if you've got a free email address, that might be a warning bell to some people. So that's something worth looking into, maybe. Um, Outside of that, I've read all that. That's great. That's great. At some point in the future, oh no,
Yeah.
actually, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You've done it. You've done it. I was going to ask you to do something, but you've done it, which is great. Um,
Okay.
and have you thought about a blog?
Yeah. I've thought of a few ideas, but I've not started any of them yet.
Okay, no problem. But you kind of that's the missing element right there, to be honest, outside of everything else I've mentioned.
Yeah.
Have a blog on there.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but other than that, and you don't want to go overboard with a blog. Like writing a blog once a month is enough. Once a fortnight,
Y-
once a month. Don't make a big deal of it. And you can definitely get AI to help you as long as you then humanize it. Don't just take a blog from AI and just upload it as is. Like humanize it, and that we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Um, Perfect, perfect, great. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's great. You got a website. You excited?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, how many inquiries have you had through that website? How many people have filled in that contact form?
None?
None. So that's the next step, getting people to fill in the contact form and send you lots and lots of inquiries, which will then turn into bookings, which will then fill your calendar with lots and lots of bookings, and it's all very exciting. So that's going to be the next bit. Cool. So, in terms of the website, make the changes to the website. Now, did you start doing any sort of link building activities? Remember, I told you to go on some of those free index sites and business links, and did I tell
Yeah.
you that? Is that something I mentioned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
How
done it on like
have you
the
done it?
big the big ones like add to event and stuff. I don't know what the local ones are at this point. Yeah. But I've done it on the
Okay.
big
But I
ones.
showed you how to do that, didn't I? Did I show you how to
Yeah.
do it? Like searching for free linkages? Yeah.
Searching. Yeah.
Just do that. Yeah. Just do
Okay.
that as an ongoing activity because the more links you can have inbound into your website, the better, really, to be perfectly honest.
Oh yeah.
Especially if it's like the Chamber of Commerce, and you'll be able to get free listings with most places. You'll find with things like Add to Event and Bark, they're going to spam the ever-loving crap out of you with um, a load of like, hey, have this inquiry. It's only you can spend a fortune and Add to Event and Bark. They're not terrible. At the position that you are at the moment, you don't need them because you can have free, you can very easily generate free inquiries. That's the process of what we're going down right now. But if you want to expedite this up, but it's basically when we talk about generating leads, there's four ways of doing it. The first way is through building up the SEO of your website, getting more people to find out who you are, getting more people to find your website organically. Now, it's going to take time. It doesn't happen overnight. It's going to be ongoing activities that we do every day. It's a little bit like a statue, which sounds ridiculous, but what I mean by that is most statues started off as a big lump of concrete, and then they turned into a statue when somebody sculpted it, right? And what happens is when you sculpture something, you don't just like take a big boulder and go boom, now it's done. That's not how it works. You take a hammer and a chisel and you're knocking stone out of here, you're knocking stone out of there, and for the longest time it just looks like a big block of, stone. But then at some point it then turns into this incredible sculpture. It's the same thing with your website when it comes to SEO. It's kind of almost like playing the long game. It's not something that happens overnight. You're going to put time in. It's little and often, rather than spending 8 hours a day every single day, and in 2 weeks' time you're going to have a high-ranking website. It's more about doing it every single day, and doing a little bit every single day just to make sure that you're pushing everything in the right direction. Yes. So there's SEO. The second way, and I think we've briefly talked about this, was pay-per-click, which is basically paying for adverts. It's PPC is what it's called, pay-per-click. Now, pay-per-click absolutely works, and it works well. And for the longest time, I used nothing but pay-per-click to build up inquiries for my company. And we don't really do that anymore. Now although we do use pay-per-click still as a lead generation, now we kind of focus more on the SEO side of things than the pay-per-click. But it's still, for sure, it's still a very important thing. The problem with pay-per-click is that's not a route that you want to go down right now. Because unless you know what you're doing inside out, back to front, upside down, and left way, sideways, you can lose a lot of money. I meet a lot of magicians who think, oh, pay-per-click, Google AdWords, that's super simple. All I have to do is put 200, 300, 400 quid into Google, and they're going to send me a ton of leads every single day. That's not really how it works. Google are changing things around and all the time. And if you don't understand how that process works, you can end up literally throwing money down the drain. And I've seen a lot of magicians that do that, which is why there's so many certified Google practitioners, people like that, that really kind of spend their time and effort into understanding what you do with pay-per-click. Now, I understand pay-per-click, and for years I did it myself. I have a company that does it now. I don't keep up to date with the latest stuff, but I have a general overview of it. You are not in the position right now to do pay-per-click. You don't need to worry about that. That's not something that you need to worry about. The third way is sort of live events, sort of promoting yourself at live events. Now, that could be it's kind of networking. Do you know what I mean by networking? It basically means letting everybody know that you're available and you're available to hire, right? And there are networking events and stuff that you can go to, and I actually built part of my business through networking. It's a great thing to do. I don't think you need to do that right now either, but there are a lot of things that you can do. Like networking can simply be you're with friends, you're with family, you're with people, and you're handing a business card out, or you're telling people that you're available to hire, or you're performing magic you're invited to a barbecue somewhere, and you perform magic, and there's someone there that goes, oh my God, that's really good. I've got an event coming up in 2 months' time. Do you do gigs? And you go, yes, indeed, I do gigs. Are you available on this date? Yes, I am. Wonderful. Can you take my money, please? It's kind of as simple as that. When I first started, I got a lot of gigs. It's word of mouth. When I first started, I got a lot of gigs through word of mouth. I would just perform to everybody as much as I could. And I'd have people going, oh my gosh, you're great. I want to book you for my event. So that's an example of networking as well. And that can work. And then the fourth is stuff like Bark and Add to Events. Now, how those platforms work is typically you tend to buy credits, and then they will email you every time someone in your area needs what you're looking for. So you say, look, I am a magician. I'm looking to connect with people who are looking for magicians or close-up magicians or stage magicians or whatever the case may be. And so every single time someone inquires within that mile radius that you've outlined, they will send you an inquiry. And then you can read the inquiry and you can go, yeah, that's for me, or no, that's not for me, or whatever the case may be. And you can, if you say, yes, I want to I want that inquiry, you'll pay for credits. You've already paid credits. You might have paid for 100 credits. You'll use some credits towards saying yes, I want that inquiry, and then you'll have their phone number, you'll have their email address. You can contact them through the platform, or you can ring them and you can tell them what it is that you do. Two things with that: you need to be very selective, because if you're not careful, you could just be throwing credits down the drain. Again, this is a little bit like PPC. You could be spending an absolute fortune on those websites if you're not careful. Uh, you don't want to say yes to absolutely everybody, because if you say yes to everybody, you're just going to be throwing money down the drain. So you want to be very selective. Second of all, the thing you need to understand is a lot of the time, Bark especially, add to event, yes, but not as much. But both of them to a lesser or greater extent. Um, they it can sometimes be a race to the bottom, in that there's a lot of magicians that go on there that charge very, very cheaply, and that will do it massively cheaper than anyone else. And so what you're doing is you're competing against people that are happy to like charge 50 quid for 5 hours work or something like that. So sometimes you'll put a quote in and they'll go, no, it's too expensive, because they've had quotes from other people. So the way to deal with that is to basically quote on gigs that you know that you're suitable for, that you feel you can vibe with the person on. So, for example, if the quote came through and said, "I'm looking for a young, energetic performer that's skilled in sleight of hand that can make my birthday party go with a bang." That might be something you want to go for, because you can lean into the young, energetic performer vibe. If I tried to go to that, I could go, well, I'm 49, I'm pushing 50, but my card tricks are good. I'm not fitting the criteria that they're looking for. Um, uh, the other way that you can actually deal with these inquiries that come through Add to Event and Bark is by making your profile so effing good that you just stand head and shoulders above everybody else on that platform. It's like, oh my gosh, I have to go with this person because this person is obviously incredible at what they do. And so, with that in mind, if you have registered with Add to Event and various different platforms like that, have you set up a profile? Have you gone
Um,
in there and like set?
a rough, like a rough profile, definitely not like a finished profile, I wouldn't say, but like there's stuff on them.
Yeah, if you want to do a finished profile, you want to make it look
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. This is where ChatGPT will be your friend, because you want to use different copy on those profiles that you have on your website. Because if you have the same copy on your website and then you put the same copy on every single business listing that you're on, what will happen is they'll just think that you're spamming the internet. It's not a good look, right? So my advice would be to write a profile. Hey, my name's Jess Howard, and I am a female magician, or whatever you want to say. It doesn't really matter. But write a profile, sell yourself, make yourself sound amazing, and then throw it into ChatGPT and say, hey, this is a bio that I've written for a website that I want to advertise on. I want to use a bio on different websites, but I want it to read differently on each website. Can you rewrite that bio for me 15 times? And it will take that bio as a basis and it will rewrite it for you. And you can just make sure that that's not all being chat GPT to hell, but just quickly read through it, make sure it's okay. And then you can use those as bios on all the other websites, and it'll save you time as well. So just write a bio once and you'll have it every single time. But make sure the photos are on there, make sure that the correct areas are in there, make sure you're using the correct radius, make sure that you've got all the correct tags in there. And the other thing that you can do on these platforms is you can set up templates, which will save your time. And this is something that you should be doing now anyway. Do you know what I mean by a template?
No.
Okay, so when an inquiry comes in, Add to Event, and it's like, I'm looking, so say you get an inquiry come through, Add to Event tomorrow, and it's, I'm looking for a young female performer. Her name must be Jess. And you think, well, that couldn't be more perfect for me if I tried. I mean, I'm the girl for the job on that one. That's me. So yes, you click to accept it. Rather than writing a new reply out every single time, you can have templates. So you can
Oh
have a
yeah.
close-up magic template, you can have a stage magic template, you can have a wedding template, you can have a corporate magic template, you can have all these different templates. And it's worth taking your time to write these out because um, you're going to need this anyway within your website. So when people start inquiring for your through your website directly, and they email and they go, I want a magician. You're going to have to reply to them, right? Rather than having
Yeah.
to reply every single time and write a brand new inquiry email out every single time, it's a good idea to have templates that you have saved somewhere, like on a Google Drive, that you can just go, oh, I've had an inquiry, copy, paste, send, done, right? So it's really important to have all of that in place. Um, and so you may as well start the process on these templates on Add to Event and Bark and places like that. And then you can use those send templates within your own business as well. So you want to, and what we'll do um, next week, and I don't think we've probably got too much time for it now, but what we'll do next week is we'll talk specifically about how to write sales copy so that it gets people to go, oh my God, yes, you're the perfect person for the job. You know, I definitely want to, because there's an art to writing an email back to people. A lot of people think sales is all about speaking to somebody over the phone or speaking to someone face to face, but it's not. The sales process is just as important when you're replying to somebody's email. So, for example, if you wrote an email, let's say you want a new magic trick, and there's a new trick that you've seen. You've seen Leviosa phone, and you want Leviosa phone, and you've got some spare money, so you're like, right, I'm going to buy Leviosa phone, but you've got a question about it, and you email Penguin Magic, and you go, hey, I'm looking for some information on Leviosa phone. Can you tell me this? And if they didn't reply to you for days, you'd kind of be going, well, what the hell's going on here? I'm going to have to go somewhere else because they're not getting back to me. Or if they did reply and they were really rude and they were like, yeah, thanks for that. All right. You know, you'd be like, oh, screw you. I'm going to go somewhere else. Or if they didn't give you that much information and they were just like, yeah, it's available. It's $250. Thanks. That's not really very helpful. You know, you're asking a question, you're not getting the correct reply that you want. Um, it's the same with an inquiry email. You know, when somebody inquires, whether it be to add to event or bark or directly through your website, that is like gold dust, Jess. That is the single most important thing that you have going on in your business because you've put all of this time, all of this effort, all of this energy into getting this inquiry, getting this moment where somebody has found your website and they've cared enough to then fill in a contact form and they're considering booking you for their event. That is a big deal. That is a good, big, huge, oh my God, this is an amazing moment deal, right? So you have to treat each one of those inquiries like gold dust. So you want to get back to them as soon as possible. Ideally, phone them if there's a phone number. And it's the same with Add to Event. It's not just about coming through your website. It's the same with Add to Event and Bark and all these places like that. Even more important with those places because that email, that inquiry will have gone out to 7 or 8 thousand other magicians. Probably not that many, but it would have gone out to a ton of magicians. And there's probably going to be other people that go, yeah, that sounds perfect for me. I'm going to quote as well. So the sooner you get back to them, the more likely are they going to book you over and above anyone else, if that kind of makes sense, hopefully.
Yeah.
So you want to start writing the templates for all of these, and then we can use those templates to create templates within somewhere like Google Drive or something like that, which you can use when people inquire through your website. Eventually, you're going to get a CRM system, but we don't need to worry about that right now. So that's not an important thing to concern yourself with right now. The other thing is, so very briefly, we're not going to go through sales technique right now in any great detail, but I will tell you one thing: the most important thing when you're writing an email back to somebody, or the most important thing when you're writing a reply back to somebody, whether it be a reply to a message that you've had on social media, or whether it be an email back to somebody who's email inquired with you, or whether it be a message back to somebody that's messaged you on one of those platforms, the most important thing is is that you understand what the end goal is. And the end goal is to get those people to say, yes, I want to book you. That's the end goal. That's always the end goal, right? You want to take that person and turn them from an inquiry into a booking. So the most important thing is to impulse them. Do you know what I mean by impulse? It's a sales jargon. It
Kind of.
basically means getting you right. Okay, you went to Blackpool, right?
Yeah.
Did you go to some dealer stands and you walked
Yeah.
over to them and you were like, I don't think there's anything going to be here that's going to be interesting me. And then by the time you had finished watching a particular trick, you were like, oh my God, I need this in my life. I wasn't aware that I needed this magic trick, but now I know I need this magic trick more than anything else. This has to be with me. This trick. Did you get that feeling at some of the booth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What that guy did behind that booth is he impulsed you. He got you excited about what it was that he was selling to the point that you were just like, oh my God, I've got to get this. Price is not important. I need this. That is what you need to do when people inquire with you, whether it be over email or whether it be through Add to Event or Bark or something like that. You need to have that same feeling. You need to give people that same feeling, right? And the way to do it is by impulsing people. There's 5 impulse factors. So I used to run a sales and marketing company, and this is the system that I or part of the system that I used to use, and I used to use to train the people that worked for me. So it's called GIFTS, GIFTS. And those are the 5 impulse factors. It's an acronym, GIFTS. So the first one, the G, stands for greed. People are just naturally greedy, Jess. They really are. So one of the big sales impulse factors that people will use, and you'll have recognized this all over the place. One of the big sales impulse factors is tapping into the fact that people are greedy. How many times have you seen a magic shop run a summer sale this summer? Like every week we've got a summer sale, it feels like. Or how many times have you seen a magic company go, hey, we've just launched this, but if you buy this, you get this for half price. And you're like, oh my God, I'll get both of them. Alakazam are amazing at that. They do that all the time. Or why is Black Friday such a big deal? Why are so many companies going all in on Black Friday? And the reason is very simple. It's because people are looking for a deal. It's why you see so many 2-for-1s, buy one, get one free, discounted this, discounted that. Now you can lean into that in many, many different ways. You can lean into that, and we'll talk about this more in future episodes. But you can lean into that with discounted prices. Although I don't know if that's the best thing to do, or giving people extra, like they inquire and you say, well, if you book in the next 7 days, not only will you get this, but you'll also get this. There's a bunch of different ways of doing it. But people are looking for if somebody emails you, there's a very good chance they've emailed other people. If you can tap into that natural greedy quality that people have, and you can do something that makes them go, oh my God, that's a good deal, you'll get the booking over and above everyone else, right? So G is greed. I stands for indifference. Now, what I mean by indifference, Jess, is you cannot sound desperate for the gig. You have to sound indifferent. Like you could, the attitude you need to put across, Jess, is that you couldn't give 2 hoots whether they book you or not, because if they don't book you, somebody else will, because you are a super successful magician. Now, it's kind of fake it till you make it, because you desperately want that gig. You've not had a gig yet. Somebody inquires, whether it's through Bark, Add to Event, your own website, you're going to want that gig, right? But you have to play it cool, right? Because if you go, oh my God, yes, I am available. I'm 100% available. I am the girl for the job. Yes, I need you to book me right now. Please book me. Please, I will do anything. I need this gig. Please book me. There's a chance that they won't. So you need to be very indifferent about it, right? And you need to just be, like I say, you need to put across the attitude of I don't care if you book it or not, because somebody else will, but without actually saying that, because that's rude, right? So you need to be very indifferent about the fact and go, yeah, I'm available at the moment. I'm surprised, that sort of thing. So F stands for fear of loss. Now, fear of loss, another word for fear of loss, is FOMO, which stands for fear of missing out. And it is a technique that's used by companies all over the world in every industry. You've probably seen it. How many times have you seen a magic company release a product and they go limited stock, we've only got 100. When they're gone, they're gone. Penguin do that really well. They're like, hey, we've only got 20 left. We've only got 20. This is the last 20 we're ever going to produce. Alakazam do it really well as well. They go, yeah, when this batch runs out, the next batch is going to be 6 months' time or whatever the case may be. That is an example of FOMO. It's an example of fear of missing out, fear of loss. And it basically means if you, it's putting across to the customer that if they don't book you relatively soon, they're not going to book you. So it's kind of like having on the website, Jess's availability is severely limited because she's very heavily in demand. Please inquire now to avoid disappointment. It's kind of stuff like that. A perfect example of using FOMO and fear of missing out is if I sent you an email, Jess, and the email said, hey, I'm looking for a magician on the 17th of December. 2 hours walk around magic. Are you free? Can I have your prices, please? What would you reply? What would you say?
Yeah, like in
No,
an
you don't.
actual email. No.
Yeah. No, you don't. You don't say yes. The reason you don't say yes, there's a couple of different reasons. The first reason is you don't know if you're available or not. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to say, what time are you looking for and what's the location? But the other reason you want to say what time you're looking for and what's the location is because at the moment that person has probably inquired with other magicians. You want to make, and they're probably just sending you an email because they're just ticking all the boxes. They're asking around. You want to turn them into somebody that's asking around to somebody who's desperate to book you. And one way to do that is to say to them, well, the 17th of December, I am quite busy. What time are you looking at? You're looking at 7 o'clock. And where are you based? Yeah, I can just about squeeze you in. The 18th, I was fully booked. The 16th, I'm fully booked. But the 17th, I think I can just squeeze you in. Now, in actual fact, it didn't matter what time they're inquiring. But now you've used fear of missing out. Fear of now they've emailed you going, well, let's just tick the boxes and let's just get a quote off Jess. And now they're kind of thinking in their head, oh my God, I hope she's available. I never even considered that she wasn't available. So it's kind of it's called fear of loss. And by the way, when it comes to people emailing you or phoning you, you can tell how interested they are in you specifically by the first question. Not always, but generally, as a general rule of thumb, if they say, I would like to know if you're available, or if they ask about availability at all, they're sold on you. They're not asking about anything else. If they're mentioning availability in any capacity, they want to know if you're available. That's their most important concern. That's a really good sign because it means they're sold on you. That's going to be an easy sale. If they email in or ring up or they message on Enter Event or Bark or something like that, and they go, I would like to know your prices. I would like to know how much you cost. Now they don't really care. What they're looking for is they're looking for a price. They're probably looking for the cheapest person. You know that when somebody has that approach, you need to sell them on how amazing you are. Because when you compete on price, there's always somebody that will go cheaper. So you have to give them a reason as to why they should book you at a higher rate compared to somebody that they could have booked at a lower rate. So that's fear of loss. The next one is tone of voice, which I'm completely aware doesn't make any sense when it comes to an email. Tone of voice is very, very important over the phone and when you're face to face, but especially you're going to start getting phone calls, tone of voice is very important. Now, tone of voice, tonality is a little bit like what we talk about when we're on stage. I'm going through this with Thea at the moment. So Thea is currently learning her first patter piece, and it's all about Frozen and Elsa and so on and so forth. And it's lovely. But she's saying to the camera, she's saying to, she's practicing it and she's saying to the audience, I love Frozen. My favorite character is Elsa. I love Elsa. It's kind of like it's all on one level. And I'm saying
Yeah.
to her, no, it's kind of more like this. Hey, I love Frozen. My favorite character is Elsa. I love Elsa. it's kind of using tonality makes everything more interesting to the audience. And you know this because I've seen you perform, right? But it's the same thing when you're speaking to somebody on the phone as well. If I was speaking to you and you were inquiring and I was like, hello, hi, my name's Craig. I am a magician. I can come along to your event and I can show you magic and you will have a great time and all of your guests will have a great time. That's not as interesting as, look, let me explain to you why I'm the perfect person to the job. Now, first of all, when I come along to your events, I'm going to make sure that every single person has a great time. Do you see the difference? That's
Yeah.
just classic performance 101. The good news is you have that already. However, that same approach needs to happen over an email. You need to use tonality and tone of voice in an email. So if somebody sends an email in going, "Hi Jess, I've got a 50th birthday party in December. Are you available?" And it's 3 till 5. Are you available for some close-up magic? If you just sent an email back going, "Yes, I'm available. It's £600" or whatever the case may be, that is um, very matter of fact. That's the equivalent of going, "Hello, my name is Jess." But if you go, "Hey, Bob, thank you very much for reaching out to me. I really appreciate it. As you can imagine, December is a very busy month for me. But the good news is, on the date you're looking for, I still have a little bit of availability." Walk around magic is the perfect thing for your event because do you know what I mean? You're embellishing. They
Yeah.
haven't asked for this information, but you're making yourself sound more interesting rather than just quickly sending the email and getting rid of it. You're focusing more on making it more interesting. That's really important from an impulsing point of view. And then the final one, so greed, indifference, fear of loss, tone of voice, that's the gift. And S stands for sheep factor.
Sheep, as
Sheep,
in
as in Lloyd
Wales.
Barnes, yes.
Okay.
Sheep factor basically means um, if you show that everybody else is doing this, you are going to want to do it as well. And again, we'll use the magic industry as an example. Why are there certain tricks that come out that are more popular than others? Why are there certain tricks that come out that every single person wants to buy, even though they haven't seen them or read reviews on them? Why is Tobias Dostal, Liquify and Liquid Spectrum and all of that stuff? Now, you could say it's a trailer, you could say it's all of that, but realistically, it's because all of the forums are like, "Oh my God, I love this, I want 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 this." Everyone's saying, "I want this." And, people are like, "Oh my gosh, I need to get this as well." Even if it doesn't fit them, they want to get it as well because they don't want to be the person missing out. I used to train my salespeople, and I used to say, "Look, if every single person in your street had the same car and you didn't, you'd be kind of like, "Oh, kind of want that car," right? So
Yeah.
it's why adverts for holidays show people having an amazing time lying back in, like deck chairs and so on and so forth, and it looks like they're the happiest person in the world. They're trying to use sheep factor. Look, everyone else books out holidays. You should book our holidays as well. So with regards to an inquiry, you want to use stuff like sheep factor with an inquiry. So it's like, "Hey, everyone else books me." You use lines like, "You know what? I've got a lot of people that have booked me for a similar event. So if somebody inquires about a corporate event, I'm looking for an hour of mix and mingle magic at a corporate event. It's an annual dinner. Oh, thank you very much for getting back to me. I've performed at loads of annual dinners. It seems to be a very popular thing at the moment. I know exactly what you're looking for." What you've said there is, "I get booked a lot to do the type of thing that you're looking for." Do you know what I mean? It becomes,
Yeah.
yeah, it becomes sort of thing. So that's the impulse factors. We'll get more into sales technique maybe next week or the week after or whatever. But the most important thing is that you start writing templates that you can use on the platforms you've registered with, like Add to Event and Bark, but you also use them within your own website as well, so that you've got a bank of replies that you can send to people when people start inquiring, and start using those impulse factors. One other thing that I'll say, and then we'll get into more advanced stuff later on. But one of the thing I'll say is, when somebody inquires, you need to figure out. You need to listen to people. Most salespeople, the mistake they make is they don't listen. They just have a script that they tell people. and they just go through that script. So no matter what someone says, they go through that same script every single time. The most successful salespeople are the ones that they don't have a script. They have sort of points that they're going to hit at various different points, but they don't have a script. Instead, they listen to what the person says and they formulate a reply to them based on what they're saying. So if they're so, for example, if somebody emailed in to me and said, I'm looking for a magician for my wedding, I'm actually getting it as a gift for my partner, that will say to me that that person probably doesn't like magic. And they're doing it for their partner, and their partner loves magic. And, and they're probably not going to have told their partner that they're getting them and I'm going to be a surprise. So I would reply back and I'd go, hey, totally understand where you're coming from. We get a lot of people contacting us all the time, wanting us to be like a surprise for a partner. I'm guessing what's your partner's name? John. Okay, great. I'm guessing John really loves magic. Is that right? Now I'm having a conversation with them. Sales is a lot about building up. It's about building a relationship with the person that you're speaking to, getting to know them, getting them to know you and like you and trust you. Because if I can have a conversation with somebody and they can come off the phone and go, oh, he's a really nice guy, I'm probably going to get the booking over and above anyone else because I've been super nice and super relatable, right? It's kind of the basic stuff that you read in How to Win Friends and Influence People, which is the best book of all time. So I can be like, I can be very relatable. So I'm guessing your partner's mad about magic. Oh yeah, he's been wanting a magician right from the very beginning. I told him that we couldn't afford it, but I found a little bit of extra budget, and I think a magician would be a great thing. Absolutely. And you know what we can do? As well as coming along and doing close up magic at your wedding and making sure everyone has a great time, we can do a personal performance to the groom as well. And you can be there if you want to, but we can do something really special for the groom that nobody else will see, and it'll end up with a magical souvenir that they get to keep forever. I'm telling that client or that potential client something that I know that they want to hear because I've figured out what they want to hear because I'm listening to them. I've used impulse factors. I've listened to them. I've formulated an answer based on what they've said, and I've built a relationship up with them. And I've given them a specific pitch, specific for their needs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. I've been waffling now for about 50 minutes and probably just like wiped your mind. So, in the last 10 minutes, why don't you tell me how things have been going with the act and with everything? Because you've got the care home coming up in a couple of weeks, I think, and you've got, or
Couple of
less than that,
days.
in a week or so. How, right. So, first of all, how's that going?
Um, I know what I'm gonna do now. I sent the email basically, that you said, can I do 30 minutes of close up, 30 minutes of stage, basically. They got back to me and I asked about like
Yeah.
PA systems and mics and stuff. They don't have any of that kind of stuff. There'll be about 25 people. They say going around close up is fine at first, but they also said lots of them have dementia, so will fall asleep probably. Um, that's what they said, not me. So I've decided I'm keeping the summer theme, but I'm keeping it kind of loosely. So it's like it's got a theme for those who kind of can follow it, but it's also not hard to follow if you can't follow it, basically.
Yeah.
So the start, I'm gonna get them to kind of write down their favorite summer drinks for a bit later in the act. But I'll say to keep it non-alcoholic because 17. Um, and then I'll I'm doing something with balloons, which first will be some rope stuff because I've learned some of the fiber optic stuff lately as well. So I'll use the ropes
Okay,
as
good.
like the balloon strings, kind of take them off the balloons, toss the balloons to a side. I actually need to buy some balloons. That's a good point. Um, and then I'll do some rope stuff with the balloon strings, and then I'll end up just with the free ropes, and then I'll kind of go back to the balloons. I'll get my cards out. I'll go to the front few people. I'll get them to pick a card. Um, then the card vanishes from the packet. Card to balloon. card to balloon, and then just getting, because like balloons are quite summery, I feel like at a kind of fun fair kind of thing, and then I'm gonna do invisible deck, but with a bag, talking about how like the time I was on the train and like I dropped all my cards on the train, and then some guy came along, asked me to find his card, and by some miracle that was the only one face up. So I'll try and kind of recreate that. And then I'll go back to the drinks thing. The drinks they wrote down earlier. I'll probably just switch it, to be honest, the jar. And then I'll do a think drink type thing where I like a Diet Coke, I've got a jug of water, and then I pour it into a glass, and it's a Coke if they wanted a Coke, a lemonade, orange juice, all of that. And then finally it'll be coffee. And oh, yeah.
Oh,
And then I'll make a coffee cup of here, which
nice.
then I'll finish with a chop cup with the coffee cup to end it.
Oh, great. That's a really good, yeah. And that'll be the finale.
Yeah, probably.
That's great. That's awesome. And have you thought about what you're going to do in close up?
Um, no, but
Okay.
probably
I mean, you've
just,
got plenty of close-up stuff, but
yeah,
uh, for the type of audience that you've got, I'd make it like really, really sort
simple.
of yeah, sort of simple, really simple, really easy to follow would probably be the best bet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, make it really easy, really simple, really visual, really quick, really easy to follow, and try to get around as many people as you can because that's going to kind of give you credibility for later on in the show.
Yeah.
So you can then walk out on stage and say, you know, my name is Jess. My name's Jess. It's really nice to meet you. You probably saw me doing close up magic. Have you, you know, obviously you've never performed on stage before. Have you figured out what your opener is going to be? Not your opening trick, but what you say when you come out on stage.
Um, Not exactly. Probably something I'll kind of obviously I'll introduce myself,
Hmm.
talk about the weather because I'll be like something along the lines of it's summer. I love the summer. The sun's out shining. So I thought I'd do an act today all about it. All about summer because I love the summer. Something along those lines. But I've not worked out properly yet.
The most important thing in a show is the first 30 seconds to a minute because it's what gets people wanting to watch what you're going to do or what you're going to say. It's what makes people, you know, it's like that old expression, isn't it? You've only got one chance to make a first impression. So you want to make that as you want to come across as very, very confident. And as you're coming out and you're not doing music or anything, and you're coming out and you're talking. Have you two things? One, have you thought about a bit of background music as you come out? I know you've got some stuff in there to music. It might be worth having a bit of background music, something like that.
Okay.
You know, just kind of something that plays in the background, something summary to fit the theme. But the other thing is, you want to establish credibility very, very quickly. So kind of a case of, hey, my name's Jess. Uh, and you know, paint it red. Talk about the fact that you're, you know, hey, my name's Jess, and I am a 17-year-old magician, and I'm delighted to come along and perform for everybody here. Now, this is going to be a very interactive show. First of all, let me know if you've enjoyed the close-up magic. Give me a clap, give me a cheer if you've enjoyed the close-up magic. Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much. Well, this is going to be a very interactive show. I'm going to interact with everybody here, and the more excited you are, the better the show is going to be. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have a little bit of a warm-up. I'll put my hands in the air like this. When I do, I want you to clap, I want you to cheer, I want you to pretend I've just done something amazing, and I'd like you to go crazy. And let's see where you're at. Here we go. One, two, three. Oh, that's brilliant. Well done. That is amazing. The louder you are, the more excited you are, the better this show is going to be. Now, it's summer right now, which means that the weather is amazing. And so I thought it'd be really fun to come along and do something to you for you that's all about the summer and it's all about the nice weather we're having at the moment. Are you ready? You are? Brilliant. Let's do this. So the first sort of 60 seconds, you've come out very, very confidently. You've engaged with the audience. They can see, wow, this is a very confident person that's coming out here. You've talked about how you're 17 years old. You've talked about how it's an interactive show. That line about please let me know if you've enjoyed the close-up magic, give me a clap and a cheer. Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much. You've shown that you're very good at what you do. And it's just a very nice way to actually get everybody engaged with what you're doing and saying before you then go into your main piece. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't have to use those exact words.
Yeah.
You've probably got your own thing you can say, but as I said them, did you notice the tonality? Did you notice the, hey, my name's Jess. How you doing? You got come across as
Yeah.
very, it's, to be honest, walking out on the stage, Jess, is a little bit like doing a sales call. You got to come out. You got to have the tonality there. Eye contact. The best thing with eye contact is try to look at every single member of the audience. I'll never forget some advice that Russ Stevens gave Ryland when he was on BGT, which was really good, which was when you look out at an audience, go in a Z. You've heard of that before. I'm sure we've talked about this
Yeah.
before. Go in a Z, so you're looking up there, you're looking over there, down there, over there. So it looks like you're scanning the whole audience. Eye contact, build up trust, get people to trust you. That's literally all you need to do. That's it. That's
Yeah.
literally all you need to do. And then from there, you can go into the act. You'll be great.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions for me?
Um, well, just you were talking about like Bark and add to event. Would you recommend using them at this point?
Yes, but don't yet. Get your
Okay.
profile set up first. Get your
Okay.
profiles looking amazing. What we can do then is next week you can share the screen with me and we can have a look at your profiles and your templates. So before the next session, try to get your profile set up. Put some photos in there, put some social media links in there, write a really nice bio, make it look absolutely amazing, set that whole thing up. Then we can look at the profile and then we can, yes, I think it's a good thing to do because it's going to give you some quick wins. And we can talk about budget and we can talk about all of that, not a problem. But first of all, it's foundational. If I said to you right now, yes, use add to event, and your profile's not ready, it's a little bit like having the website. It's a little bit like start promoting yourself with no website. No one's going to book you, right? So you want to make sure that that profile looks amazing. So do that for next week, and then we can look into add to event budgets and Bark budgets.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Have you got other questions?
I do. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Um, is pricing something I should start thinking about yet or not?
Yes, because when you start quoting people, you're going to have to know what price you're at. Now, you
Yeah.
probably have no idea.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
much depends geographically. Look, there are magicians that will tell you never, try and work out what other magicians' prices are. I disagree with that completely because you don't want to underprice yourself. If everyone in the industry in your area is going out at £5,000 and you're charging 50 quid, it's kind of you don't want to underprice yourself, but likewise, you don't want to overprice yourself as well. So I would
Yeah.
do what we call in the industry a competitor analysis. Get somebody like your mom to come up with an event that they're planning towards the end of the year, November or February next year or March next year or something. And just send an email out to a bunch of magicians in your area asking how much they charge. Now, we're not doing this to rip them off. We're not doing this to steal their ad copy. We're not doing this to steal their sales copy. We're not doing this for any other reason other to work out what the pricing in your area is because different areas, I don't know what the pricing is in your area. We need to work out what people are charging in your area. Once we know what people are charging in your area, we can then work out what you should be at. Bearing in mind, you're probably not going to have the social proof of other websites, insofar as there's going to be magicians out there that have been doing it longer, that have got more social proof, that have got more reviews, that have got more everything. And we can fake it a bit. We can fake it until we make it. That's one of the cool things about this. We can fake it till we make it, but you still want to have a rough idea of where everyone is, and then we can work our pricing out accordingly. So I do a
Okay.
competitor analysis. and I just
Yeah.
figure out what other people's prices are. If you could get that for sort of next week as well, we can then kind of delve deep into your pricing and we can work out exactly what it is that you should be pricing yourself at.
Okay.
Would you, right? That work? Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, should we do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Because that would definitely be the best bet. So find out what the prices are of the people in your area, and then we'll work your pricing out accordingly.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem. What else you got?
This is like the stupidest question, but I thought I'd ask. So,
What's up?
since I've set up my new email and new website, mostly in my junk email, but like a lot of kind of like I don't know how to describe it. Like a lot of people like I think they're scammers, right? But like saying that they've got suggestions on how to improve SEO and stuff. Do I just ignore that type of email or just email
Ignore it.
saying,
Well,
"Hello, I've got
you have, yeah.
suggestions." Okay. Ignore them all. Okay.
Yeah, and you'll find that a lot of those emails that come through, they don't even have their own website in the email.
Yeah.
You'll get lots of these anytime you have a website, especially
Yeah.
a new website. So there's a lot of SEO companies that they know that if somebody's set up a new website, they're probably not going to have any traffic going through to that website.
Yeah.
So they crawl the internet for new websites and they'll send blanket emails to everybody going, we have analyzed your website and we have found that there are several
Yeah.
problems that are causing you to not show up on page one of Google. As you know, it's very important to show up on page one of Google, and there are some simple fixes that you can do now that will massively increase your SEO. I would love to chat to you about this and find out more about your budget or your requirements so we can tell you how to maximize that. Is it kind of along those sort of lines?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get all of those all the time as well.
Okay. I
Um,
thought I'd check
yeah,
with a professional.
just delete it. Just get rid of
Okay.
it. Yeah, just get rid of it. The chance in it, I don't know if they're good or not. I have no idea.
Okay.
I would never use a company that just blanket emails me and doesn't even have contact
Mm.
details for their own website. Um,
Yeah.
you're going to get them. You're going to get a lot of scam emails and stuff like that. Not that they're a scam. They kind of are a scam, but not that they're a scam. They're kind of more looking for business, and it's a very black hat way of doing it. So
Yeah.
delete them. When we need to get to a point where you've got a social media company managing your SEO, we can look into ways of doing it, and ways of doing it does not involve just replying to a random email that comes through into your account going, yes, please help me with my SEO. So yeah,
Okay.
don't worry about that. Delete them, move on. Yeah,
Okay.
you're going to
Thank
get
you.
a lot like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There
What
was
other
one
questions you
more.
got?
Only one more.
Of
It
course.
was just
What are you here for?
it was just whether or not, because a few weeks ago we talked about restaurant residencies. Do you think that's something I should look at yet or
I still think we should look at that. Yes, I still think we should definitely look at that. Did I ask you to start making a spreadsheet on it?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
Right. Okay. There's a specific way to get restaurant work. And I do think that we should look down that route because restaurants are
Yeah.
amazing. When I first went into business, I dominated the restaurant market, and that gave me the income that I needed to build my business up. Restaurants are amazing. What you want to do is you want to have a page on your website for restaurants. If restaurants is a big thing that we're going to go into, have a page on your website for restaurants and write a we'll talk more about it next week. Remind me at the beginning of the session, say, Craig, we need to talk about restaurants.
Okay.
And we'll talk about how we do that running parallel to everything else that we're doing as well. But you
Yeah.
can start that by in the back end, not in the front end, but in the back end, start setting up a tab and a page for restaurants so that we've got a page to send people to when we start going down the route of trying to get restaurant bookings for you.
Okay.
And then remind me of the next session, else I will forget
Yeah.
because I don't even know what I had for lunch this morning, to be honest. So I'll never forget. I'll never remember that.
That was
Yeah,
everything.
but yeah, restaurant. Well, I'm glad I covered it all. Jess, you're absolutely amazing, but you know that.
Thank you.
You enjoying the process?
Yes, definitely.
You enjoy it? Are you having fun? Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. Just switching this off. This is very, very silly. There we go. That's good. You're doing brilliant. You really are. You're doing fantastic. Hang on a second, sorry. Somebody keeps texting me. Let me just tell them to go away. Boom. Hang on. Just ignore me. I'm just telling these people that I'm busy with you. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're doing brilliant. You're doing absolutely amazing. Um, yeah, you're doing fantastic. You're doing all the right things. The fact is, we've only been doing this for like about 6 weeks, and already you've got a website, you've got active social media. Everything is moving in the right direction. It's absolutely brilliant. Oh, one last thing, because I'm not going to see you next time. First thing we need to do is talk about how this stage show went. Are you going to be able to get this videoed or not?
I can ask when I'm
Yeah,
there.
if you get a chance, and we don't need to use it for social media, but it's worth looking back at it. I always film every single show I do. I've got a stand that I just put my phone on, and I just put the phone on the stand and I just film the whole thing. And it allows me to look back at it and kind of work out what went well, what didn't go so well. So, ask them beforehand because it is like a retirement village place. So they might not be happy with it. But if you say it's not going on social media, it's just going for my own personal use. I look back at every show I do so I can analyze what went right and what didn't. It's worthwhile keeping videos of all of the shows that you do.
Okay.
Awesome. Good luck. You're going to be amazing. I can't wait to find out how
Thank
it
you.
went next time. And I'll see you next week. Okay.
Yep.
Guys,
Thank you.
thank you so much on behalf of Jess for checking out this week's Jess umentary. Let me know what you think down below. Give Jess some support. She's doing absolutely brilliantly. I'll be back next week with another video. Until then, thank you so much for watching. I'm Craig. This is the incredible Jess Howard. You have been watching the Jess umentary right here on Magic TV.